this means to me. I've always wanted to come here as a fan, and this is my first time, so here I am as a fan. I just want to say a couple of things. I'm Andrew Garfield, and I'm going to be here introducing this panel, this Amazing Spider-Man panel. Stan Lee says that the reason why Spidey is so popular is because all of us can relate to him, and I agree. I needed Spidey in my life when I was a kid, and he gave me hope. In every comic I read, he was living out mine and every skinny boy's fantasy of being stronger, of being free of the body I was born into, and that swinging sensation of flight. And upon receiving his power, unlike most who become corrupted, he used it for good. And I think we all wish that we had the courage to stick up for ourselves more, to stick up for a loved one more, or even a stranger you see being mistreated. And Peter Parker has inspired me to feel stronger. He made me, Andrew, braver. He reassured me that by doing the right thing, it's worth it. It's worth the struggle. It's worth the pain. It's worth even the tears, the bruises, and the blood. And I wouldn't be able to stand here in front of you guys right now without feeling that Spider-Man was here with me, with his reassuring hand on my shoulder, making sure I don't fall over and concuss myself. And he has inspired countless people, girls, boys, men, women, all of us. And he has saved lives, and he saved my life. And I owe Webhead a lot, and I owe Stan the Man a lot, and I'm humbled to be here, like you do not know, to share the work that we've done with all of you. And this is my first Comic-Con, and this is definitely the coolest moment of my life. And thank you for being here and sharing it with me. First of all, the incredibly genius producer Matt Tomac, the Spidey aficionado. Oh, there's Matt, that's Tomac. There it is. And it's the Spidey aficionado and Marvel legend, Avi Arad. Oh, Avi, it's time. Oh, well. Our leader, the mastermind, weaving this tangled web, Mark, no pun intended, web. I wasn't gonna do it. I was so scared. I was like, I gotta do it. Thanks for letting me do that.
Well, Mark, let's start with you. What attracted you to the material? What to the character of Spider-Man? What did you think you could bring to him, and what in Spider-Man, like Andrew was talking about, what did it inspire you?
Well, there's such a wealth of material in the Spider-Man canon that hasn't yet been explored cinematically, and I certainly felt that sort of pressure when I was there. There's so many things about Peter Parker in particular that I found stimulating. He's the most, I think, one of the most relatable characters in comics, and I found it very, very appealing. There's things like in terms of the material specifically, like the Gwen Stacy saga in the Marvel comics, I think is really iconic, and I thought that was a really wonderful thing to give life to. And then, I mean, Spider-Man, he's a part of our culture. He is a perennial character. He's there. He was there before I was born. He'll be there after I died. I just felt an incredible sense of enthusiasm for that character that just kept me up at night. When the opportunity came along, thanks to these guys, it just was too intoxicating and irresistible to turn away from.
Well, we're going to talk a lot about the film. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who have questions for you guys, but I thought maybe we'd show a little piece of film. You want to set that up?
Now, we just finished shooting it.
You're in some sort of, are you making twists on the character or whatever, or are you just kind of sticking to the original?
That's good. Andrew, Emma, what do you bring?
That's a great question. I'm going to first say that I can speak for, obviously, Matt and Avi are huge fans of the first three movies because they were involved in their making. But the three of us I know are huge fans of the Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, Sam Raimi versions, and yeah, right, woo, exactly, they're the best. So first of all, that should be said. And, you know, we're approaching this like it's I am anyway. Like it's Shakespeare, like a Greek myth. Like these are our modern myths. These comic book characters, and I feel like we still want to know, we still want to watch these stories, and we still want to see our favorite characters on the big screen and in 3D, might I add. So for me, it's just another chapter in a long history of a comic book story that means so much to so many people, and yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, I'm viewing it the same way from a new perspective. And, you know, I looked into Gwen as much as I possibly could, and I fell in love with the story of Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker, and that's a huge reason why I wanted to be a part of this. But I can't play a character without making it my own a little bit. So hopefully it's all right that I'm playing her. And, you know, she's on the page, and so I just kind of interpreted her my own way, and with Andrew, and kind of tried to make Gwen and Peter's story new and fresh. And Mark was, you know, hugely involved in that, and we worked it out the best we could. Hopefully, you guys think.
That's great. Yes, sir.
I love you very much.
He was talking to me. I love you.
What's your question?
All right, the next question is from Mark Webb.
Yes.
When you directed 500 Days of Summer, you had your actors listen to music to set a certain emotion for a certain scene. With Spider-Man, did you do a similar process when you directed your actors? And also, has there been any talk about a sequel to 500 Days of Summer?
We'll see about the sequel to 500 Days of Summer. They're focused on one thing right now. But in terms of music, I mean, I did music videos for many, many years, and it's always been a big part of how I conceive of imagery and how I think of things. And with 500 Days of Summer, certainly that was also a big part of it. But the truth is, both these guys had music, like they would be listening to the music off camera to get themselves in the mood. Like sometimes we would play music during the while we were shooting, which the sound guy loved, but to create a mood. And like I remember asking Andrew one time, I was like, he was getting in the zone, and he listened to everything from like sleigh bells, not literally sleigh bells, band sleigh bells, the movie Prima. You know what I mean? Like it was such an incredible variety of like which embodied this sort of incredible range of music. No, there's so many in the last one.
So sorry.
Well, there is a bit. His name is Dr. Kirk Connors.
Oh, Kirk.
Otherwise known as the Lizard, for those of you who know. And I think we actually might have a little bit of footage of yeah.
Spidey and the Lizard hugging. That is heartwarming. All right, let's get to more of your questions. I know you must have them out there. Turn the light over there, and you can ask your question.
Andrew, what did you guys do differently with this web?
With the web shooters,
Yes.
they're mechanical. Peter makes these. He designs them himself with his scientific genius. So he spends like 3 years making them. So like. The film skips 3 years, and he comes back, and he's not just kidding. No, he figures it out through his connection with Oscorp. And yeah, anyway, I won't tell you much more, but it's pretty awesome how they get made, and the design I think is pretty rad too. I love you too. I love you too.
Hi, what's your question?
Hi everybody. I was just wondering. Well, first off, Emma, digging the bangs.
Thanks.
Well, I was wondering why you made the slight changes to the Spidey costume, like the tennis shoe bottoms and the like different arms, and yeah, because as you can tell, I'm kind of a costume freak.
No.
Well, I think part of that, you know, I think we have to. We looked a little bit more at the ultimates in terms of how, like, in terms of body type and some of the suit ideas. There's also this idea of, like, how does a kid make a suit? You know what I mean? like its natural one would use those kind of elements in, and we wanted to create a body type. You know, Andrew is a incredibly fit young man, but he's skinny. You know, we wanted to use that sort of live body type, and that the suit sort of emerged from that notion.
Because how great is it seeing a skinny guy beating the crap out of big guys?
A movie called The Help, and I was in Mississippi. I was in Mississippi, and so I kind of had to finish that and focus on that, and then I had about 3 weeks, and I was just kind of reading about the Stacys and learning about Spider-Man and learning about the Marvel Universe, and then we were there on set. Very, very big sound stages. And we shot the movie, and that was about it. See, I told
Have you guys ever gotten hurt while you're directing that way?
You're hurting my feelings.
Physically or been physically hurt?
Nope.
Wow.
There's always a lot of little bumps and bruises on the Mark and Brian movies. But we never asked the stuntmen or the actors to do anything we wouldn't do ourselves. That's the philosophy. So
That seems fair.
And we have a rule: if the stunt guy gets hurt while filming, we promise them that will actually be in the movie. And that's the case on Ghost Rider.
you will see real bones breaking in Ghost Rider. Not CG bones, real bones.
We ain't joking.
That's not a promise a lot of movies can make. Well, you talked about your actors. You want to bring out your cast of players?
Let's do it. Let's bring out Mr. Johnny Whitworth, who plays Derek in Blackout, the dual role. Next, Moreau, played by Mr. Idris Elba.
I'm good, guys. I'm glad to be back with you all. Once again, here we are together, all H.
Now, I think you guys brought some footage to show everybody in 3D, didn't you?
No, we don't have any footage today. We're just,
No? What a disappointment.
we have a little bit of footage.
Can you talk about what we're going to show?
A little bit scary and entertaining from another dimension.
Mark and Brian, what attracted you to the character? Why did you want to do a Ghost Rider film?
Well, I mean, Ghost Rider is, we think, one of the most badass characters of all time. He makes absolutely no sense at all. I mean, there's no logic to it. It's just pure nightmare. He's scary. He's not really a superhero. He's more of like a horror character when you think about it. He doesn't wear tights. He doesn't have, like, you know, the invisibility power. Or his power is he sucks out your soul. Like that. That's the Ghost Rider's superpower. You know, that's.